I mean, talk about a story that plays out right in front of you. That's not just about the final score or anything X's and O's. It was what we saw on Sunday Night Football in that fourth quarter that started with the head scratcher of Jalen Hurts being told to go for it on 4th and 4 rather than kick a chip shot field goal, and that's when the craziness began. Did you have any concept throughout the week talking to Doug Peterson that Nate Sudfeld would be put into a game that is in doubt in the fourth quarter of game 256, Chris?
Not that was in doubt. I think Al asked that question. He did mention that Sudfeld might get in the game and that he deserved a chance. And then somebody, Al or Freddie or somebody, asked the question, well, what happens if it's a close game at the end? Would you still do it? And he was kind of, Doug, like, oh, yeah.
Right.
So you never knew for sure what was going on. But then, you just start looking down there at the field and, you've been in the booth. You know what it's like. You can kind of tell when something's about to change down there. And we saw Jason Kelsey and Nate Sudfeld taking some snaps and, like, they are going to do this. They're going to make this change. And then every conspiracy theory starts floating through your head, and you're trying to be fair, but you're trying to be honest, and you're trying to do all kinds of different things there. It was a tough situation. There's no doubt about it. We were on a press call yesterday getting ready for the wild card game, and somebody asked me, did I get a call either from the Eagles or from the league based on my comments? And I said, no. I said, I've gotten phone calls in the past from various people, but I didn't over that.
No, I mean, look, Chris, you were just being honest when you said you wouldn't do it. Like, you just wouldn't be able to do what the Eagles either asked of Doug Peterson or he did on his own, knowing what the plan was as a group going into the game. I mean, it was just, and I speak, sitting in a chair where I was begging my team that I grew up in, the Jets, to tank all 16 games on behalf of Trevor Lawrence. It's a very difficult, fine line, but when it comes down to it, the league with NBC is trying to, and has built an outstanding property in game 256, celebrating the competition of a completed regular season with hopefully the birth of a playoff game right in front of everybody's eyes. And it was just weird to see it turn into a preseason week 4, Chris. It was just a really weird feeling to see.
I think that's what it was for me, too. It was because I watched the games during the course of the day as we're getting ready. And I was just so impressed. I was so impressed all year. Honestly, I really sincerely thought about buying Jet season tickets after I swear I did.
No.
I was like, you know what? This to me personifies everything I love about the NFL. Okay. You can talk about tanking, you can talk about all that, but when those damn players get on the field, they can't help themselves. They're playing, right? It's just built into their DNA that they are going for the win, right? And the Jets did it, and God, they just couldn't help themselves. They had to win a couple of football games, and I was so impressed with that. I was like, that's awesome, man. That's what this league's all about. And then, there we were, at the end of the season, and all day long, teams that were playing for something, teams that had to rest players, teams that all. But the games were great. They were just going at it. They were just great all the way down to the wire. And so then you get to sort of this celebrated moment, this final game of the season. And I'm not, I can't pass judgment on anybody. I don't know if this was an organizational decision. I don't know if this is Doug just had seen things in practice that, he wanted Nate Sudfeld to get a chance. I have no idea. But, John Madden had a great saying that, you go in with a plan to do your broadcast and then a football game breaks out, right?
Yeah.
And then you adjust. You just adjust to whatever. And I think, and I always try to put myself in that position, right? If I were Doug Peterson, could I have made that move? And all I kept thinking to myself was, I couldn't have done this, and I was just, all right, whatever, just say it out loud. That was my innate feeling. Now, at the end of that was the fact that the Eagles lost that game. Did that benefit the Philadelphia organization? Yeah. Not just the first round pick is going to move from 9 to 6. Your second round, your third round, everything is going to move up. And so if you added up the ability to move up 3 spots in every round of the draft, you probably would have to give up an early second round pick to justify that, and maybe even a first round pick, for all I know. So did it benefit the organization? Yes, but I also think that you have to go, you're going to have to explain that to a lot of players, that something, and maybe nothing was going on. Maybe it's just was pure and simple that Nate Sudfeld had so impressed them in practice that they wanted to give him a chance. I don't know. All I could do is react to it as a human being.
Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.